family, and friends. Welcome to the 24th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course Graduation Ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of Colonel Randall J. Bagwell, Dean of the Judge Advocate General School, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Russell A. Farrell, Chief Warrant Officer of the Judge Advocate General Legal Center and School, and Chief Warrant Officer 5, retired, Charlie Hooah Poulton. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the invocation by Chaplain Hill. Chaplain.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, it was with profound pride and grateful hearts that we present the Judge Advocate General's Legal Center and School Warrant Officer Basic Course graduates before you today, and with the success with which they are being rewarded, a success the effects of which will soon be felt all over the world for decades to come. We are profoundly grateful. We're further grateful for the hard work and dedication of the faculty, staff, and administration of the LCS for this training cycle. But most importantly, we're thankful for these graduates, these warrant officers, these leaders, and for the service they will soon provide to our nation and our Army. Heavenly Father, graduation is also known as commencement, and we wish to focus on that word as we proceed with this ceremony. Commencement is a beginning, and just as commencement recognizes beginning, the graduates of this class are no longer who they were when they began this journey at Fort Rucker. They have been formed and trained, and they will now take their place in the line of service to this great nation. Guide them with prudence and further enlighten them with wisdom, so that they will be hallmarks of moral discernment in our military, and will serve to further the virtues of truth, justice, and integrity in the formations in which they will serve as ethical leadership in a society that is in dire need of this very virtue at this very moment in history. Finally, Father, bless these officers and their families who have sacrificed, not just by serving their country in uniform, but by serving as beacons of virtue and righteousness. Make them leaders of character and paragons of the ancient Army values, not just in word and deed, but in their very lives, and not only in their new formations, but everywhere they go and with everyone they meet. And Father, let us ever be mindful to give you the thanks and praise for the future deeds of these officers. We recognize every good and every perfect gift is from you, and we ask your blessings on them, the United States Army, and the United States of America. Amen.
Amen.
Please take your seats. So, mighty 24th, what can I say? From Chuck Q to Sugar King, you have definitely kept me on my toes. Even so, I still don't know what to do with my hands. You all are truly the largest class to ever attend the Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course, in many more ways than just sheer numbers. Your professionalism and desire to excel are matched only by your innate ability to help each other and those around you. This was evident in everything from the staff ride at the Wilderness Battlefield to your volunteer activities at the 4-Hour Freedom 5K. You have persevered through all adversity and emerged as the legal right. As your course manager, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to mentor you and train you. Thank you for displaying the confidence in your craft, the character we expect of our leaders, and your commitment to our brothers and sisters in arms. I now charge each of you to go out and leave it better than you found it. and gentlemen, our guest speaker's bio is located in your program. I encourage you to read it at your convenience as it is very impressive. Please join me in a warm welcome for Chief Warrant Officer 5 retired, Charlie Hooah Poulton.
I don't need any of that. They didn't mic me because I told them not to mic me. I'm sure these older warrants in the back side there, the master warrants can hear me just fine, can't you? Good. There we go. Okay. First of all, good morning to the Judge Advocate General's family. And the last time I checked, that's everybody that's here. So that covers everybody, so I don't have to go down a ladder of welcomes. And the dignitaries here in front, especially Estelle, would you stand up, please? Just stand. She don't want to stand up. This is my lovely wife. I have a question to ask you students, you graduates of the mighty Legal Wisely 24 JAG Warrant Officer Basic Course. How high is your legal going to fly? Or is it going to fly at all? You don't know maybe at this point. But I believe when I get done talking today, you'll have a little idea of how to get that eagle up there where it needs to be. There are many here that are already at the top. And you can speak to them about it also. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of Charlie Hooah Poulton's philosophy on this. About 2 months ago, I was on Facebook checking the Warrant Officer Facebook page out. And I was impressed. They were talking about leadership and how the technician doesn't need to be a leader. They only need to be a technician. I thought, give me a break. I got to jump in on this one. There's a couple here that know that I jumped in because they actually responded. And I'll add that in here in just a second. But I got on there and told them about my leadership position at the second Warrant Officer Company, now known as Headquarters and Headquarters Company of the Warrant Officer Career Center. I'm the first commander there. My goodness, I couldn't have done that job without leadership. And I jumped in there and told them all about that, how I was in PT and how I took pride in beating everybody in the class. And everybody in the class that beat me got a 3-day pass and on and on. And I got off. They jumped all over me. They threw me out of the box. They said, you're not thinking straight. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when back in about 1973, 74, when I met my first warrant with his donut and his coffee cup. That's what it reminded me of, because they were saying things that were just wrong. So what I'd like to do this morning is just kind of straighten that out of my mind and I feel like you need to hear what I got to say. Again, think about that question I asked you. Okay, let me ask you this. We're going to the Staff Judge Advocate office. I'm going to take you there because that's where most of you are going to work. Some will work at the school. We have one that's going to be a commander at Headquarters Company, Warrant Officer Career Center. And there's going to be another JAG warrant on the wall there. I'm so proud of her. She's, outstanding. But, so, how involved do you get in your organization? Let's jump right into it. Do you know the civilians in your organization? Now, when I say do you know the civilians in your organization, I mean, do you know the civilians in your organization? Do you go have face-to-face with them once a week and just talk? Get to know them. When I was in this school, I knew all the civilians. I know their husbands. I knew that they had children, if they had children or grandchildren. I knew all that. And it gave me, a better lease on what I was doing around here. And when I called them up and asked them for something to be done, they knew who they were talking to, and they did. That civilian, especially in the JAG Corps, they run the office. Without them, you can't run the office. You're not a part-time doing your job without it. You might be able to do it, but you wouldn't get it done the way you get it done now. Okay, how about enlisted? Now that one you got to be a little careful with, because you only need to get involved as much as your senior NCO or sergeant major lets you get involved. You know, you don't just jump in front of him and start talking to and listen to people and getting up. You know, he's going to let you do that as long as you and him or her are on the right track. By the way, that's one person you better be real tight with, is your senior NCO. I don't care who it is. I don't care even if you don't have a good relationship. You've got to find a way to bond, because you're going to need him or her to get the job done also. So now we've got the civilians and enlisted officers. Colonel or General Ayers talked about that this morning. Stole a little bit of my thunder, but you all didn't hear it. You have to be a leader to take care of the commissioned officers in the office. Now, some of them don't need any care at all. They're Hooah, they're hard charges, they know how to be a soldier. And oh, by the way, are you a soldier first or a technician first? Well, in the case of these commissioned officers that get assigned to your office, I remember when I was at the 18th Airborne Corps, I got a whole crew in at one time, about 7. 2 of them rayed up. And it wasn't their fault. There wasn't any there wasn't a JAWOBC hard charge and training course at that time. You know, they threw their rank on them and sent them out. There were captains with, what, less than a year in the Army, or a year, maybe 18 months, and didn't even know how to tie their boots. What are you going to do with that captain? You better, and General Darpino talked about this. I watched it on Facebook. She talked about mentorship. I think y'all were here when she talked. I don't know if you heard her speak or not, but it was awesome. You have to mentor those captains. It's your job. You're going to make the officers stronger. Personally, and in the Army, the office is going to be stronger. The whole organization is going to be stronger. Take the time to do that. Now, granted, like General Ayers said, you have to gain their respect first. You don't just walk into their office and, hey, you are 8 up, sir. Me and the sergeant major are going to straighten you out. You can't do it like that. I might have done it like that with a couple, but not all of them. I want to tell you this, and I'm not bragging, but I am kind of bragging. Of all the offices I was in, there was always 2 or 3 that I had to work with. Every one of those were successes. They all made lieutenant colonel. I could write them on the board right now. There's probably about 16 of them. I believe without my help, my sergeant major's help, they would have failed. But I made the military stronger by getting them where they needed to go. And you're going to do that. Let's go out of the office. What are you going to do about CIF? Do you know the guy that runs CIF? So that when you call him at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and say, I have a soldier that I have to deploy in 6 hours. Jim, can you make it happen? It'll be done. Yes, sir. Got it, Chief. Send him on down or her on down. It's done. You have to know your budget person. Is that budget person important to you? I know you know the answer to that. You better know her or him. I got to tell you a real quick story about that. I really like my budget person. She really took care of me, but she was a great person too. And she had a birthday, so I bought a birthday cake for her and gave her a rose. Holy smokes! I caused a war at Fort Bragg because I wasn't allowed to do that. I did anyhow. And I'm sure I probably shouldn't ride the I think you get my point. Not only in the office or out of the office. Let's go to personalities. Everybody's got a personality. I sure have a personality. Everybody knows it. It's never changed. I don't think my wife would say I've ever changed either. She probably wished I would, but let me give you an example. I came to this school a little bit worried because I'm a loud person, noisy, boisterous. I mean, I'm a wild man. And they send me to the General Alberg calls me up. He says, Charlie, we have to start training our OBC students. We got to do it. I want you to start a program and I want you to go to the school. I said, the school? Me? Okay. I was here about 10 days. 3 colonels took me into an office upstairs, shut the door, sit down, and gave me a speech about, Charlie, you got to change. You're too noisy. We can't even hear ourselves think in the office. You know what I'm thinking? They got doors. They got doors. Well, they meant well. I walked out of there professionally, went home. I was a little depressed. Came back to work the next morning. Ran the students. Did my second PT, which I did every morning. Ate breakfast and everything. Got in my office. And here come Colonel Cal Lederer, who was at the time the commandant of the school. Charlie, let's take a walk. So we go outside. Here we go again. Puts his arm around me. He says, I understand that you had a few colonels come to you yesterday and give you a little talking to. I said, yes, sir. He says, well, let me give you a little talking to. He said, you know, before you came here, this place was dead. Dead, silent. It was just plain dead. And I wasn't sure how it was going to be with you either. But you know what? It's got life now. The civilians love you. You know them already. I don't know how you got to know them so quickly. And he said, the students, whether you know it or not, they do appreciate you pushing them as hard as you do push them. And he said, and I love your enthusiasm. Don't change. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And I'm all pumped. I said, Hooah? He said, you can even say Hooah louder than that. It's okay. And he said, now go back to work. Now, the reason I bring that little story, don't change. Right now, you are who you are now. And some of you, I love the way you are right now, some of the ones I've met. Don't change your personality from job to job. Just don't do it. You're going to stand on the rock you got right now. Okay. The leadership in the office is you need to lead from the front. Now, that doesn't mean you have to get a 300 on the PT test. Okay? Not everybody can get a 300 on the PT test. That's a fact. But you can strive for that. The office can see that you're striving for that. Do you need to be the first one in the front of the running formation? No, you don't have to. But if you can jump out there if you like. There's a lot of things you can do. But the office needs to recognize you as a leader. Like General Harris was saying this morning. And by the way, Colonel Bagwell this morning gave me a great line. You don't have to be in charge to be a leader. You don't. Okay? Let me give you a good example of something happened to me. I'm not going to mention names or locations. I'm sitting in my office one morning with my sergeant major, and we get a phone from the brigade commander. He says, come on up, I need to talk to you and the sergeant major. We run up there, and I thought, my God, what have I done wrong now? Because this man was really high speed and hardcore, right? And I loved him, and he loved me, but he was a little rough around the edges. We walked into the office, and he had 2 cups of coffee, and went from being the sergeant major. He said, sit down. He said, this is going to be short and sweet. We got to fix something. I said, okay, sir, we can do it. He said, well, let me tell you what we got to fix. We got to fix your boss. I go, what? My boss? You mean the colonel? Yeah. I go, okay, what's wrong? He's broke. He can't lead. He don't know how to be a soldier. I never seen him at PT. I don't see him at the fire. I don't see him anywhere except, don't take me wrong, he's a great lawyer, but he's a terrible soldier. And if you don't fix it, I guarantee you, I will have him out of here in 6 months. We walk out and say, Sergeant Major, can you believe this conversation? I mean, put yourself in that position. It's scary. So I go back, Sergeant Major, I'll tell you what, tomorrow morning, I'm going into the colonel's office, I'm going to tell him what the brigade commander said. Oh, Chief, you can't do that. I said, that's the way I'm going to handle it. Walked in there, threw it at him, and broke down and started crying. Nobody had taken the time to make this man a soldier. He was one of those lieutenant captains that never got any training, and he thought he was doing a good job. And he was a good lawyer. 6 months later, that man had Hooah written all over him. 18 months later, when he left command, the brigade commander, who just got his first star, he came up to the colonel, put his arm around him, and he introduced him. He said, "This is my soldier JAG officer, and I'm darn proud of him." and he broke down and cried. Nobody had ever called him a soldier. Just another little story. Okay, we're running out of time here. I want to get to the end because I want to ask you a couple more questions. I need a yes or a no. Verbally, was CW5 Sharon Swartworth a soldier?
Yes.
Did CW5 Swartworth lead from the front?
Yes.
Did CW5 Poulton do the same thing?
Yes.
I like his name. Think about what I just asked you. Myself and Sharon is, let me just give you my ending story right now. I'm out in Fort Bend, Harrison at some special warrant officer training, which is where we used to have it. It was not really training. We just went there and I did a lot of running. I was out on a 15-mile run training for a marathon at Indianapolis Speedway. And a yellow Corvette pulled up with a cute little blonde sergeant in it. She yells at me and she says, "Are you Charlie Poulton?" And I'm running along. I'm doing my thing. "Yeah, it's me." She said, "I need to talk to you." I said, "You can't talk to me right now. I'm running." She said, "Not a problem." She drove that Corvette on up the road. She jumped out. She had her running shorts on and her brown top, her hat, and sunglasses. Run right back out there, and we commenced to finish the last 5 miles of my 50-mile run. And basically what she told me is, "I want to be a warrant officer." Now, it wasn't easy back then, because if you were a reservist and we pulled you into the active duty, and Charlie Poulton wanted to be a warrant on active duty, we'd have to take that slot and give it to her. It had never been done before. I told her to meet me at the officers club that night because the senior, in this case, master warrants, would be, a lot of them would be there. They met her, and it was a no-brainer. We've got to get her into the jacket. And, of course, the rest is history. Sharon thought out of the box. She led from the front. And she ultimately gave her life into courage. I get a little emotional about that because I felt like she was my child almost. But what I'm trying to get through to you on that is, you need to be like her. You don't have to be like me. That's the goodness, I'd forget about that part. But think about what she did. There was a point in time when I was offered the position as a senior warrant at the JAG Corps. General Altenberg said, "But Charlie, you got to do the automation side of the house too." I said, "Sir, I can't do that." There's only one person in the JAG Corps that can do that. I said, "I'll go do something else." And that's how I got to come to the school, and she became the chief. And she took us into the future. Enough said. I think I've said enough about everything. I think you understand where I'm going at. You do need to lead from the front. You need to be leaders. And just one more question. How many jump masters or airborne air assault people do we have in this class? And look, okay. Why did you do that? You did that so you could become a better leader. Did it make you a better person? Yes, it did. I've been to all those schools. I know it made me stronger and it gave me more energy. Okay, I'm pretty much done. I don't know what the time limit, where I'm at on time. But I would like to thank everybody for coming and listening to me rant and rave up here. And it's been an honor to get to know this class. I mean, I am flabbergasted at the leadership we have in the JAG Corps now. And I'm going to pat this on the back. I remember when we had our first legal warrant, Linda Powell. I met her on a ski slope with my wife in Germany. She was a PFC. She said, "I want to be a legal." She was in the legal field. She said, "But I want to be a warrant officer someday." Well, she took my place at Fort Rucker one day. That's how things work. God bless the Judge Advocate General Corps. God bless our military. And God bless the United States of America. Hooah!
cut it there.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Colonel Bagwell, Chief Warrant Officer Clyde Farrell, and Chief Warrant Officer Clyde Retired Poulton will present the diplomas to the graduating class. As you will note in your program, there are several students in this class who have distinguished themselves from their peers. The first of these students is the CW2 Bob Babinski Distinguished Undergraduate. CW2 Babinski served as a legal administrator at Fort Jackson, South Carolina at the Office of the Staff Judge Advocate. He was a computer whiz who led from the front and was always willing to assist others. He was known for saying, "Not a problem," and minutes later, there would be no problem. He was a devout Christian who touched the lives of everyone he met. CW2 Babinski enjoyed traveling and fixing and building things, and his life was cut short unexpectedly when he was killed in an automobile accident on the 5th of August, 2004. He is dearly missed, and we honor his legacy and memory today through this award. CW5 Stedham will present the award on behalf of the Association of Military Administrators. The recipient of this award is the officer who achieved the highest overall academic average for the course, with an impressive 95.02% total average. Additionally, she displayed the highest standards of personal and professional conduct and set the standard for her peers to emulate. The CW2 Bob Babinski Distinguished Honor Graduate for the 24th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course is Warrant Officer 1 Monica Hooah.
This award on behalf of my friend, my classmate from candidate course 0101 and the basic course, the 8th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course. He was a great friend with an amazing can-do attitude who pushed through pain and adversity to get to objective, and always with a smile on his face. Thank you.
The next student to be recognized is the recipient of the CW5 Charlie Hooah Poulton Distinguished Leadership Award. As you just heard, Chief Warrant Officer Clyde Poulton served with great distinction during his more than 35-year career. We are honored to have him join us today and to present the award named in his honor on behalf of him. The CW5 Charlie Hooah Poulton Distinguished Leadership Awardee for the 24th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course is Warrant Officer 1 Charles Martinez IV. Mr. Martinez is also a member of the Commandant. The honor graduate achieved the second highest overall academic average for the course with an impressive 94.36 average. Additionally, she displayed the highest standards of personal and professional conduct and demonstrated great leadership throughout the course. The honor graduate for the 24th Warrant Officer Basic Course is Warrant Officer 1 Michelle Field. The members of the Commandant's list all demonstrated academic excellence throughout the course and all achieved an overall average of greater than 92%. In fact, all were within 2.5% of the highest average for the course. The remaining members of the Commandant's list for the 24th Warrant Officer Basic Course are Warrant Officer Michael A. Rowley. Warrant Officer 1 Nicholas C. Brunner. Warrant Officer 1 Jennifer B. Bedell. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the remaining students will receive their diplomas. I ask that you hold your applause until all candidates have been conferred. Warrant Officer 1 Robin M. Briggs. Matthew M. Casey.
Yeah.
Warrant Officer 1, Reynaldo Corridor. Warrant Officer 1, Jasia Earth. Warrant Officer 1, Annette Johnson. Warrant Officer 1, Courtney L. Ladner. Warrant Officer 1, Misty D. Lakota. Warrant Officer 1, Timothy W. Ludwig. Warrant Officer 1, Matthew Bueller. Warrant Officer 1, Lloyd Palmer. Warrant Officer 1, Adam E. Saavedra. Warrant Officer 1, Kara L. Sassenrath. Warrant Officer 1, Melanie D. Sellers. Warrant Officer 1, Elizabeth Taylor. Warrant Officer 1, Martine S. Best. Warrant Officer 1, Justin M. Williamson. Warrant Officer 1, Tabitha E. Williams. And Warrant Officer 1, Christina Zabert. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the 24th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer vacancy. Please be seated. At this time, the Class Leadership Awardee, Warrant Officer 1 Martinez, is out to be recognized.
On behalf of the 24th Warrant Officer Basic Course, read a couple things from on TV. This is our class point. You all will be a member of our class. Honorary t-shirt for you. It's got all of us on the back.
That'll hang in my Hooah room at the house. Thank you very much, class.
Additionally, the Class Leadership Awardee, Warrant Officer 1 Martinez, and the Distinguished Honor Graduate, Warrant Officer 1 Monica Hewer, will present a gift to the school on behalf of the 24th WOBC. I would like to take a brief moment to recognize all of the staff and faculty here at the LCS. They truly are behind the scenes, making sure that everything gets done, even when I can't follow up. Kern, Mr. Molesto, Mr. Don Dudley, and Mr. Gidgahan have been invaluable to this course. Additionally, I would like to thank CW5 Rusty Farrell, CW2 Juan Santiago, and Warrant Officer 1 Terrence G. Without them, this course simply would not have happened. I would also like to take the time to thank Sergeant First Class Brian Ortiz and Master Sergeant Mario Arnold for their selfless efforts in support of this course. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song and remain standing for the departure of the official company.
March along, sing our song, we're the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. And the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. And it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony. 24th Judge Advocate Warrant Officer Basic Course, you are hereby dismissed.
Let